Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, I will be showing how to load our model in our Django project and how to make use of the model. So let's open VS Code. So we are in views.py file now. So whatever the code we write, it will be saved in views.py. So before going to this views.py, I would like to explain you what is client and server methods. So I will just open my browser. Whenever it comes to client and server architecture, there will be of two types. The first is get, the second is post. Get method will be initiated from the client to the server. So in get method, what our client needs, it will just send and request. So it will be saying I need to get those files or data. So it is known as get request. The second request method is post. So post is nothing but the client need to send the data to the server, like some information need to be sent by the client to the server. In our case, we are using forms. In forms there are four fields. In the four fields there will be four numeric values. Those four numeric values will go to from client to server. By using post, it is possible to send the data to the server. By get, we don't need to send any data to the server. We are just telling server to get those files for me so that I will display to the users. I hope you understand get and post request. So let's move on to our Django project. So I already said you what is post. So post means some data will be returned by the client. We are checking it if request.method is post, then we are telling the server to take those values and store in some variable. So I will be creating four variables to understand it better. So we can write in even one line. So by writing in one line, I can't explain you much. So I will be creating four variables, and the four fields which I have created in the forms, for the four fields I will be creating four variables. So each field is getting connected to the each variable. So let me create four variables. Total length, it's a variable. So I'm telling my server to take the values which request send. So the format will be request dot post dot get. So whatever we have given the label in forms, so it is a name or the name field which has been initiated to this input field. So I will be putting petal length as my request.get parameter of this name. So I am telling request.post.get, and whatever the field or the input field which I have given, name it as petal length. So the petal length value which exists in client side, so you just take it and put it in the variable called petal length. So this is what I have written in code. It should be blank while getting or taking from the client. Other than this, no value should be taken from the client. So the same process will be continued for other three fields or variables. So I will just copy paste it. So I have four variables now. So one is petal length, and second is petal width, and third is sepal length, and the fourth is sepal width. So let me just copy paste. So we have created a variable for each field. So let's print this petal length, comma, petal width, comma, sepal width. So I'm just simply printing these values so that I will get an idea of what exactly the client is giving me. So let me just run my server. So let me open it. So I'll just give to. Whenever I submit, it reads to the server. So you can see we have got 2222 as a number which we are printing. So this is working perfectly. So let me just take this print. Now my next step is to load the model in my Django project. So that what I will do, I will just open File Explorer. In my downloads, I downloaded my model.pkl file. So let me just copy and paste this in the folder which we are working with now. So let me just paste here. Whenever I paste, it will be available here. So let me just rename it. So my model.pkl is ready in my folder now. My next step would be importing joblib. Joblib.load the name of this model.pkl. I'll just copy this relative path, and inside string I will just give a model.pkl, and I will just add dot slash so that it will go back to the folder and it will just copy it here. I will tell my job lib to job lib, please load my model. I need to store it in some variable. So let me just give model equals to job lib dot load. So whenever my job lib loads, so it will store in the model. My model is in model variable now. Now my model is ready to work with. So what I will do now, I will just call my model dot predict as I shown in Google Colab. So I will be giving this 4 variables as an array. So let me just open my Google Colab. So I told you input values are very important. So let me just copy it and paste in predict. So my model.predict takes these values, but I don't need these values. Rather, the variables which I have created, I will be passing it to the model. So first is petal length, comma, and next is petal width, comma, and next is sepal length, comma, next is sepal width. Now my model is ready with the variables or values which our model needs. So this will return some output. So I will be storing the output in predicted equals to, and I have created and predicted variable. So my model will predict based on these values, and my model will give an output. So it will be stored in predicted. So what I will do now, I will just return an HTTP response. This should be imported. So in HTTP response, I will just paste this predicted. So the output of which my model predicted, I will be just giving it to the client. So that's all for the post. I will just show you guys. So let me just reload it. So I will give two. So it's showing something like data type numeric is not compatible with the array of byte strings. So whatever we are trying to give to the server, it's going in string format. So to correct it, let's select all this. So you can type it manually also. Float is a data type which need to be added. Now whatever the client will give me the data, it will be converted to float, and the float value will be stored in petal length. Now the petal length or the 4 variables will be given to the model. The model will predict based on the values which I provided. So let me just save it. So let me just reload, and I will be giving 2, 2, 2, 2. So if I press submit, I should get the predicted value. So numpy nd dot array, some error has happened. Let me just check it. Unhashable type request. Okay, the error is whenever we are responding to the client, we are sending an array to the client. So the array can't be displayed to the client. What we'll do, we'll create an integer. So this is known as typecasting. Now the predicted variable is an integer type. So whenever I respond the predicted value, it will be of integer. So let me just reload. Yeah, my model predicted 0. So let me just start from first. So I will just give 2, 2, 2, 2. And if I submit, my model is getting predicted. My model is predicting the output. So this is how we can integrate our model in a Django project. So just in one line, we are just getting a model, and based on the model, we are just giving the input values and we are getting predicted. Those things are the value which we getting from the predicted model. We are just responding it to the client. So this much if you people do, and hence the Django project has been created. So here you can see it is, if the request method is post, then we will be working with this, and the another method is get. So whenever we get request in new display, so my form will be loaded and my server will render the index.html by using the form which I have created in forms.py. So this is how we communicate with the client and server, and hence we have created a full stack app. Thank you guys.